You've been hurt. Maybe it was a betrayal, a lie, a wound that cut deeper than any physical pain ever could. And right now, in this very moment, it feels as though the world has tilted unfairly in their favor. It feels like the ones who have wronged you are walking away without consequence, living their lives as if nothing ever happened. And maybe, just maybe, you wonder if you'll ever get the justice you deserve. But I'm here to tell you something important. You don't have to lift a finger. No, the world doesn't need you to carry the weight of revenge. The universe, life, fate, call it what you will, has a way of balancing things out, and it always does. There's a law far greater than the one we try to impose upon each other, and it works when we least expect it. So, instead of focusing on the wrongs, instead of seeking to right the scales yourself, I want you to sit back, breathe, and watch karma do its job. The power of patience. When someone wrongs you, it's natural to feel the sting of injustice. The hurt, the betrayal, the feeling of being taken advantage of, it can all feel overwhelming. In that moment, there's an urge to act, to do something about it, to make sure the scales are balanced and that they feel the weight of their actions. But in those moments, what you may not realize is that patience is your greatest ally. Karma doesn't need your help. It doesn't require you to chase after retribution or to act out of anger. No, karma works in its own time, in its own way, with a precision that we can't fully comprehend. When we act from a place of hurt or vengeance, we cloud the very thing that could set us free. Time. And time, as it passes, carries the consequences of others' actions in ways we often can't anticipate. Patience, therefore, becomes not just a virtue but a shield. It protects you from the bitterness that can consume you. The longer you hold on to anger, the more it eats away at your peace, and the less room there is for healing. And healing, you see, is the thing that will serve you far better than any act of revenge ever could. The beauty of karma is that it doesn't require your interference. It's a force of nature, working quietly, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. It's not about sitting idly by doing nothing. It's about waiting without desperation. Patience isn't passive, it's active in its own way. It means refusing to be caught up in the toxic dance of retaliation. It means understanding that you don't need to be the one to exact justice. You don't need to be the one to make sure they know what they did to you. Karma will do that for you. What you need in the meantime is faith. Faith that the universe sees what has happened. Faith that no harm, no matter how much it hurts you in the present, will go unaccounted for. It's trusting that there is a natural order to things, a balance, and that sooner or later, those who hurt others will feel the weight of their actions. They may not face it today, or tomorrow, or even next year, but karma works on its own timeline. It is relentless, and it is fair. So, as time passes, focus on your own journey. Focus on growing, on moving forward, on building a life that is not defined by the wrongs done to you. Your peace doesn't have to come from them, it comes from you. When you let go of the need for instant justice, you open the door to a much deeper, much more powerful sense of peace. You allow the universe to take its course, knowing full well that those who choose to hurt others will eventually meet the consequences of their actions. And when it happens, when karma finally reveals itself, you will see you were right to wait. The patience you exercised will have been the quiet strength that carried you through, while they, caught in the whirlwind of their own misdeeds, will have to face what they've done, letting go of the need for control. When you're wronged by someone, it's easy to feel a deep, almost primal need to regain control. The injustice done to you feels like a storm that sweeps through your life, leaving chaos in its wake. In the aftermath, it feels as though your world has been turned upside down, and the urge to correct things, to fix them, becomes overwhelming. But here's a truth you must understand. Control is an illusion. The need to control the outcome, to force the scales of justice back into balance immediately, comes from a place of fear. Fear of being powerless, fear of being victimized, fear that if you don't do something, the wrongdoer will go on, untouched by the damage they've caused. But the more you cling to this need for control, the more it ties you to the very people and situations that hurt you. The truth is, by holding on to the need to fix things, you only extend your own suffering. You allow them to continue dictating your emotional state, your peace, and your sense of well-being. You give them a kind of power over you that they don't. Letting go of the need for control means accepting that some things are simply beyond you. Not everything can be fixed immediately, and not every wrong can be righted by your own hand. You have to release the belief that it is your responsibility to deliver justice. It's not. When you allow the universe to take its natural course, you're freeing yourself from the constant tension of trying to manage every outcome. You're allowing life to unfold as it was always meant to, trusting that what goes around does indeed come around. Control also manifests in the form of our expectations. We often expect people to behave in a certain way, and when they don't meet those expectations, it causes a profound sense of disappointment. You want them to acknowledge what they did, to apologize, to admit their wrongs. You want them to feel the pain they caused you. But the truth is, you cannot control how others behave, and when you try, you only further entrench yourself in the hurt. You become attached to the idea of how things should be, and in doing so, you miss the beauty of what is unfolding. When you let go of this need for control, you create space for your own healing. You stop waiting for the apology, the acknowledgement, or the retribution that you feel you deserve. You shift your focus inward to what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, your responses. You free yourself from being dependent on another person's actions or words to find peace. Instead, peace becomes something you create within yourself. It's not about giving up. It's about surrendering to the truth that some things lie beyond your reach. By relinquishing control over things that cannot be changed, you reclaim control over your own life. You decide that no one will have the power to rob you of your inner peace, not even those who have hurt you. You take the reins of your own emotional well-being, allowing yourself to rise above the situation, knowing that your future isn't dependent on the actions of others. The unseen forces of justice. We live in a world where things don't always seem fair. It can feel like the wrong people get away with their actions, while the ones who are innocent or good-hearted face the consequences. You've been there, haven't you? Watching as someone who wronged you or others goes on with their life, untouched, as if their actions have no repercussions. And in those moments, it's easy to feel that justice has failed, or that the universe is indifferent to the pain you've endured. But here's the thing you must understand: justice is not always immediate, and it is not always visible. There are unseen forces at work, forces that we cannot fully comprehend, but they are always at play. These forces may not reveal themselves to us right away, but they are far more precise and far more effective than any action we could take ourselves. Life has a way of balancing things out in ways that often remain hidden to us in the moment. While we may not see it in real time, the seeds of consequence are being planted. Karma moves in silence, but it is relentless. It's tempting, in the face of injustice, to want to immediately right the wrongs done to you, to take matters into your own hands. But what often happens when we do this is that we prolong the process of real justice. The more we interfere with what life is working to bring about, the more we hold ourselves back from the release and peace that we so desperately need. We must learn to trust that karma has a way of doing what we cannot. The law of karma is precise. It doesn't work out of emotion or impulse, but rather from an innate sense of balance. The truth is that those who harm others, whether intentionally or not, will face the consequences of their actions in their own time. The person who lies, betrays, or manipulates will eventually see the effects of their behavior in ways that they may never have anticipated. And it is this unseen force that makes karma so powerful. It doesn't need us to intervene. It doesn't need us to call attention to the wrongdoer. It simply does its job in the most profound way possible. You may never see the full picture. You may never know exactly when or how those who hurt you will face what they've done. But rest assured, they will. It may not happen on your timetable or in the manner you expect, but the universe does not forget. The scale of justice might seem slow, but its weight is always accurate. In the grand scheme of things, there is a deep truth. What goes around comes around. And while we might not always be able to witness it, the forces of justice are working in the background, ensuring that those who harm others will eventually experience the very consequences of their actions. The key to understanding this is trusting in the process, trusting that the universe has its own rhythm and that what may seem like an unfair advantage for others is temporary. Time and life have a way of revealing the truth, and when it happens, it often hits with greater force than any action we could ever take. The unseen forces of karma are always at work, and they are far more effective than anything we could ever attempt ourselves. Focus on your own growth. When life feels unfair and you've been wronged, it's easy to become fixated on the wrongdoer. Your thoughts circle around their actions, the ways they've hurt you, and how they've disrupted your peace. It's only natural to want some form of resolution, a sense of closure, a feeling that justice has been done. But here's a crucial truth that often gets overlooked in the heat of the moment. Your peace, your success, your growth. These are the things that matter most. Focusing on the person who hurt you, the situation that made you feel small, or the event that wounded your soul only keeps you tethered to the past. Every moment spent thinking about them is a moment lost, a moment that could have been spent building the future that you deserve. The more you fixate on what they did to you, the more you allow them to continue controlling your life, long after the actual event has passed. True growth comes from understanding that your power lies not in changing others or getting revenge, but in developing yourself, rising above your circumstances, and becoming the person you are meant to be. Your journey is about you, not them. They may have hurt you, but they cannot define who you are or where you are going. Only you have that power. When you focus on your own growth, you remove yourself from the toxic influence of those who try to drag you down. The moment you choose to focus on yourself, to prioritize your emotional health, your success, and your well-being, you start to heal. You stop carrying the burden of their actions, and in doing so, you create the space to create something better for yourself. You realize that the best way to respond to harm is not with bitterness or anger, but with progress. Every step you take forward, every bit of success you achieve, is a silent message to those who hurt you that their actions have not held you back. A growth doesn't just mean financial or material success. It means emotional resilience, mental strength, and personal evolution. It means understanding your worth and never again allowing anyone to make you feel inferior. The more you invest in yourself, the more you focus on becoming the best version of who you are, the less power the person who wronged you has over your life. They fade into the background as you step into your own light. The journey of growth is not always easy, and it is not always linear. It's often messy, uncomfortable, and full of setbacks. But the beauty of it lies in the realization that you are in control. You decide what kind of person you want to become, and every choice you make in your healing process takes you one step closer to that vision. While they may have sought to diminish you, you have the ability to rise, to improve, and to shine in ways they could never have imagined. Your growth is the most powerful way to respond to the harm others cause. It's a quiet but undeniable form of justice. As you become stronger, as you grow emotionally, spiritually, and intellectually, the hurt they caused becomes smaller and smaller. In the end, their actions matter less and less, while your own journey of growth becomes the greatest proof that you were never truly broken by their wrongs. The inevitable return, as George, applies not just to the good we put into the world, but also to the good we put into the world, but also to the good we put into the world, but also to the good we put into the world, but also to the good we put into the world, but also to the good we put into the world, but also to the good we put into the world, but also to the good we put into the world, but also to the good we put into the world, but also to the good we put into the world, but also to the good we put into the world, but also to the good we put into the world, but also to the good we put into the world. It's this deep, unyielding law of karma that ensures that those who hurt others will eventually experience the consequences of their actions. When someone wrongs you, it can feel like the scales of justice are unbalanced. It's as though the wrongdoer walks away free, unscathed, leaving you behind to pick up the pieces. In these moments, it's easy to get caught up in the desire for immediate retribution. But the reality is that the universe doesn't work on our time. The actions of others may seem to go unpunished now, but nothing escapes the reach of karma. The beauty of this law is that it works in its own time and in its own way. You may not see the immediate return of what they've done to you, and you may never see it at all. But rest assured, it's happening. Their actions, their lies, their betrayal, it's all a part of the web of consequences that they are weaving, and sooner or later they will feel the weight of it. It may not come in the form you expect, and it may not come when you want it to, but karma is it will find its way back to them. This return doesn't always have to look like the exact harm they caused you. Sometimes it's subtler. It might manifest in their own relationships, where the betrayal they once dealt to others comes back to haunt them in ways they didn't foresee. Sometimes it comes in the form of their own personal struggles, their own moments of isolation, or their own failures. In the end, the universe has a way of ensuring that those who hurt others must face the consequences, whether they realize it or not. What's important to remember is that you don't have to be the one to enforce this return. You don't have to lift a finger or waste your energy seeking revenge. Karma takes care of all of it. The moment you let go of the need to right the wrongs yourself, you release the power those wrongdoers have over you. You stop waiting for them to suffer, and instead, you focus on your own growth, your own peace, and your own success. In doing so, you allow karma to work its magic in the most powerful and fitting way possible. There's a quiet strength that comes with knowing that every action has its consequence. When you understand that the world will eventually catch up with those who do wrong, you stop feeling the need to chase after justice. Instead, you focus on living your life with integrity and honor, trusting that in the end, the universe will take care of the rest. The return is inevitable. It's just a matter of time. And when it happens, you will know that you didn't need to lift a finger. The universe had it all under control.